Welcome back to www.usecumminstrucks.com and nydiesels.com. John the Diesel Man here inside the factory where everything goes down and we get these great Cummins trucks ready for you guys to buy. Now you may wonder exactly what we do to our trucks, and that's why we wanted to bring you in and give you a look at exactly what we do. Guys, I've been in the business a long time. And I realized one thing. Nobody wants to buy a truck that they have to put money into. Well, that's one thing. The other thing is we sell trucks that we put a lot of pride in. Okay? That's my name out there. That's my product. I want it to be right and I want it to be good. And the next thing is I want everybody to be happy. Now, there's one thing for sure, and you have to understand, we're not selling new trucks here at usecumminstrucks.com. They're at the Dodge dealership. But what we are selling is nice, clean, second-gen trucks that are reliable and you can get years of enjoyment out of it. That's what I do. That's what I get up in the morning for, guys. And with that being said, we got a nice truck behind us here that we're going through, which we'll get into in a minute. And we'll show you exactly what we do and why our trucks simply are the best and why no other dealer does what we do. It's very important to me that we check every truck over 100%. We are humans, and we might miss a little thing here and there. But we do the absolute best that we can do with our eyes and with our hands, okay? Now, since 1998, spent a lot of time in this business, and it's been very important to me to see how customers respond to the trucks that we put out there. We want to make sure that they're happy with what we sell. And I took it a step further and wanted to go above and beyond what no other dealer did. So, as I switch this around here, I'm just going to kind of show you. Actually, I'm just going to do it this way here. So, right here we have this truck, for example. And this is a 2000 Dodge Ram 2500. And this truck came out of Utah. Now, when we go through our trucks, we put it up on the lift and we pull everything apart. You can bet you these wheels down here, if I get the camera right, these wheels have been off, the axles have been out, okay? We checked all the brakes, the e-brake, the axle seals, everything, guys. We work our way through the whole entire truck, underneath. We make sure that the suspension is right. We make sure that all the brakes, wheel bearings, sensors, everything on this truck is 100%. We go around and around and around our trucks until they're 100%. Right now, checking all the electrical on the truck to make sure that everything's good. As you can see, this light right here is a little dim. That's going to be replaced. Okay? So we continue to go around these trucks. And that's what's important, guys, because at usecumminstrucks.com, we want you to understand that we're going through our trucks before we sell them. No other dealer is doing that. We're not just putting them on the lift. Guys, we go from front to back, side to side. Right now, we fully drained the cooling system on this thing, put new thermostats in it, put new fluid and coolant in it. We take everything apart. This has all been dismantled, guys, and put back together. And we will, in fact, show you some videos here on that soon. I just happened to get a sneak peek out here. New batteries. Okay. Just going on things that I can see right off the top of my head. Right now, we're checking the lights on this thing to make sure that they're all good to go. Okay. This is before the truck's going out on the lot. So we'll spend days and days and days going through all the diagnostics on every truck and making sure that every truck is good to go. Because we want to make sure that our trucks don't come back. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of things that can go wrong on these trucks. And I'm going to show you something real quick right here. All right? I'm going to show you a Cummins engine out of the truck, and I'm going to show you what's important, guys. We make sure that we check all the seals in these engines, because these engines, when they're broken down, they look like this. This is an engine sitting on the floor, okay? And by the way, we're inside our smallest shop that we have. We've got a couple shops here. But now this is the engine, broken down. Okay, now this would be your oil filter, okay? This is your exhaust manifold, and your turbo goes right here, okay? Now, as you go inside, you'll see the crank, okay? You have this engine on display so that people can see it, okay? Here's your crank. Here's all your bearings and your rods going up through your oil pan gasket here. Okay. There's your. This is where the front timing cover goes on. Right here. I'm sorry. Here I got this piece in the way. Now behind the timing cover, this is what you see. Okay. Here's your crank. Your crank seal will go right here. All right. Here's your cam. All right. Here's your water pump. These engines are an industrial engine, and they are built to go millions of miles. Absolutely. This right here is your cam plate inspection cover gasket. See this gasket right here? This gasket going around here, when you have a low mileage truck and they haven't been run a lot, they dry out and they crack, especially coming out of cold weather. That's why I don't buy a lot of trucks out of the north. That and the fact that they're rusty, okay? So, behind here, all your push rods come up through. If this seal's leaking, guys, it's a big job to fix it, okay? You got to strip down the whole side of the engine. This is where your injection pump will bolt in. Okay? Your computer and everything will bolt on the side of this, all your injection lines and everything. Okay? You're going to look at, this would be the front of the engine like this. So, there you see the engine out of the truck. In the truck, you're going to see it here. So, here's your throttle position sensor. Here's your air intake, okay? There's your timing cover down in here. Your valve cover, all your injector lines going down through here, okay? Turbo, exhaust manifold, alternator, air intake, 2 batteries. Okay, on this side, we have your ABS, okay? Your fuse box, your brake booster, your injection pump is down in there, your computer, fuel filter, your lift pump, your starter, your vacuum pump, and power steering. Now, along with that, we do fuel compression tests, and we also do injector tests, compression tests, and all that. We want to make sure that what you get is a good truck. And that's the difference with what we do and what nobody else does, because we'll spend several days making sure these trucks are right. Now, like I said, this is our smallest shop, but as you can see, guys, on our shelf here, this is one of our parts shelves, we have all the parts in stock. This is usually super stocked. We're getting a little low on stock on this stuff right now. But we've got batteries. Those are fuel pumps and starters, brake shoes, brake pads, more fuel pumps, steering parts, more parts. These are belts. These are all brake hoses and cables and stuff like that. Those are all shocks, okay? Those are all air filters. Upstairs you got headlights and brackets and all kinds of stuff, more shocks. You got windshield wipers, stabilizer links. You got hubs down in here. You got rotors beyond rotors, beyond rotors, beyond rotors, okay? We usually keep about 200 to 300 sets of rotors in stock. These are heater cores, guys, okay? Because the heater cores go bad in those trucks. Those are all drag links, more rotors, more drag links, bearings, and all kinds of stuff. Oil filters. So we stock all the parts for these trucks right on the shelf. Okay? That's why nobody out there can say that we don't go through our trucks, because I can take anybody in my shop and show you exactly what we do. That's the key. So that's what you're getting. You're getting, and to be honest with you, if you see the rotors, brake rotors I change, you guys would probably save them. You really probably would, but I don't sell stuff like that, okay? We put new brakes on almost every single truck. New axle seals, every single truck. Injection pump comes off every single truck. We pull the transmission out, check the flywheel, check the clutch. On the standards, on the automatics, we usually don't pull the transmissions out, but we do a filter and flush, okay? Just so you know. So, going through these trucks, we'll pick this truck up here. Okay, so we're underneath this truck here. Now, this truck came out of Utah. You can see how nice and clean it is, okay? This truck has not been touched. I have not touched this truck underneath. This is the way it came in. All your nuts and bolts are going to be really nice and clean here. As you can see, stuff like that. Here's the bottom of the floor. Now, when you see our trucks and our trucks are all done, you know, you will see some shiny paint on our frames, okay? Sure, we touch them up. We absolutely do. This truck we haven't touched. This is all factory. This is the way it came out of the factory. But we've got some really slick paint that looks good on the bottom of these things, and I put it on because I like it, okay? So, as we're going through this truck, we notice this truck does have an oil leak. You see it, guys? Somewhere in here, it's got an oil leak. It's greasy underneath. I can tell. It's coming down the transfer case. It's coming down the side here. There's grease under this thing. Now, there is going to be some grease and oil underneath some of these trucks because, hey, there's a blow-by container, which you can't help, but some Cummins, that canister's there for a reason, so you're going to get some leak in there. These are all factory stickers and everything like that you're going to find underneath our trucks. The biggest thing is there's no rust, everything's clean, all right? So what we do is we go through everything. You know, you check all your U-joints, check your control arms, your bushings here, make sure your transfer case doesn't have any leaks. This has got tranny lines on it that we're going to change because somebody spliced into them. And when I talk about backyard mechanics, that's kind of what I'm talking about because you get into this thing and you'll see that somebody spliced in some tranny hoses with like heater hose line somewhere on this thing. I saw it the other day. And yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to sell a truck like that. Okay, this has got new stabilizer links in it. They're greasable. Okay, your track bar did not need to be changed. And then we're gonna continue to check everything else out. Okay, ball joints are looking good. They're all greased up, ready to go. But you know, we check everything. You know, you got to check your ball joints, your axle U joints. You got a tie rod end here with a sleeve going across. Okay, if you guys aren't familiar with the front ends on a Dodge truck, let's take it from the top here. Okay, here we go. Here's your power. Here's your gearbox. Gearbox comes down to a pitman arm. Pitman arm goes to a tie rod to a sleeve. This is what adjusts the steering wheel. This comes down here to this is another link coming across to a long drag link, which is also a tie rod end, okay, which comes into another sleeve on a short tie rod end right here, okay. Then you have your steering stabilizer right here, okay. Straight axle truck, two axles come in, okay, and when you click on the four-wheel drive, there's a coupler right here that goes over both of them, okay. That's how the front end of this truck works, okay. Then you got your track bar, which holds the frame steady down here to the axle, so you don't get steering wandering back and forth, okay. So as we go through our trucks, this is what we do. And that's why it takes several days. This truck's been in here for 3 days already. He's got the fuel pump done, he's got the compression test done, and we're writing all this stuff down as we go through every truck. That's why it takes hours and hours and hours. And that's part of the service that you're getting when you buy a truck from us, because no dealer's going to do this. They're not going to leave a truck sitting on their lift for 3 days, 5 days, 6 days. They're not going to do it. We do. Now, do we change every part? We don't change every part, guys. We change the parts that need to be changed, okay? We really do. But mostly every truck's going to get brake rotors and stuff like that. Because the thing is, I'm not going to go and put brand new springs and axles. That's silly, okay? We're going to make the truck the best that we can, okay? We make sure that everything's good back here, inside and outside. And that's the stuff that matters, okay? So, once we get it out of our shop, then it's time to make this thing really clean up and make it look good, you know. That oil that was leaking that's on the frame, we get it all off. We make sure the truck is nice and clean. And that all takes time, guys. And that's the difference with what we sell and what other dealers don't sell, okay? They're not going to take the time to go through their stuff like we do. And we want to make sure that the trucks are 100% for a used truck. Remember, they're not new trucks, okay? So remember that, guys. So, just wanted to give you a little tour here. I had a quick 5 minutes. I know I took 14 minutes here, but I just wanted to give you a quick idea of what we do. And we have checklists that we go through, guys. We make sure that every truck goes through the checklist. Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? Is this good? The trucks have to pass our state inspection, but then there's the John the Diesel Man certification too. And that's above and beyond, because I will change things that don't need to be changed, okay? So we want to make sure that the engine runs right, there's no oil leaks, the truck's running correctly, the ECM and the PCM are working correctly with the injection pump. Make sure that all the seals in the engine are good, the turbo is good, we got the right amount of boost, the throttle position sensor's working good, the brakes are good, the steering components are good. Expect a little bit of wear on the steering though, guys. The box might need to be changed, but it's halfway there. You know what I mean? You never know. It's really hard. You can't put a steering box in every single truck. You know what I mean? We do the best we can to make them as tight as we can. So, with that being said, guys, thanks for taking the time to come to John's house at Used Cummins Trucks, Fast Lane Diesel. I hope this is helpful for you when you go to purchase your next truck from us. Just give you a little bit of insight of what we do. We got the best